Recently, we had the opportunity to talk with Jenn Wright, the new executive director of Grass River Natural Area near Alden, Michigan. The 1,500-acre nature center owned by Antrim County includes extensive wetlands, hiking trails, boardwalks, and a beautiful interpretive center.
So just out of college, I actually found the Chippewa Nature Center. It was my very first job. I didn't know what I was going to do with my biology degree, and I remember very clearly that very first day of training, sitting at the picnic table and thinking to myself, this is my life, this is going to be my career. 4 years later, after spending some time as an interpreter in Midland at the Chippewa Nature Center, I had an opportunity to work for the Kalamazoo Nature Center, which at the time and still is one of the most, the premier nature centers in the country. I did several years of education for the public, helped with camps and school programs, and then was offered a position in administration. So I was then was the vice president of education. So I oversaw camps, school programs, a nature preschool, public programs, our exhibits. It was a fairly dynamic position. Was there for a few years, and then my last hurrah there, I was the chief operating officer. So sort of transitioned myself from education into this administration role, but always had that love of being in front of people and teaching and sharing the wonder of nature.
We asked Wright to reflect on the changes she's witnessed in Michigan's natural resources, something that might be important to her new role at Grass River.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest changes I've seen in my 20-plus years in this field is the development or the increase in invasive species. I can remember very clearly, it was right around 1998, where I was with a group of interpreters at the Chippewa Nature Center, and we happened to come across a patch of garlic mustard. And none of us really had any knowledge about what that meant, what it was. But I can remember the interpreter telling us that it was something to be worried about, something that we really needed to keep our eye on, and they were already developing some plans to remove it. Fast forward a couple of years when I went to Kalamazoo, and garlic mustard was everywhere. It was just one of those plants that you just couldn't walk far and not see a patch of garlic mustard. And so understanding how invasive species enter habitats, whether it's through development, whether it's through on water, if it's boats that are bringing in foreign objects or foreign species, and understanding and being able to educate people, being able to show people the importance of biodiversity. The biodiversity of an area can really positively affect the invasive species. So we have very little invasive species here at Grass River, and it's because we have so many natural elements that are healthy and that are continuing to keep those things out. Sharing with people, identifications, sharing with people the effects that an invasive plant or an invasive animal or insect can have on a native system. I think people are often surprised at what they find out. And then the next step is, the removal. Is there a way to remove it? And what is that method, and how does that work? And I think our state in general, and I think the country, but I think our state has done a really nice job bringing in invasive species networks and providing the education and the tools for people to be able to maintain and manage their natural lands. But, they're here to stay. I think the bottom line is that I think people who work in our field are really committed to the beauty and the biodiversity of an area, and so the hard work has to go into maintaining and keeping those things out. So we're fortunate here, though.
We also asked Wright if she had witnessed changes in the climate or any impacts of climate change.
I think for me, yes, I think a lot of it is just the extremes that we are currently seeing. And so, Grass River is a beautiful area, and it's a wetland. It is a place where discharge of water out of Lake Bellaire comes through the Grass River, and we are able to accept those very heavy rainfall sources that are coming, and we are able to take that water, or our wetland is able to take that water and filter that and get it down into Clam Lake. And so I think those extremes is really what I've noticed the most, is that extreme, whether it's extreme rainfall, whether it's extreme heat, whether it's extreme drought, we just have a lot of those highs and lows, and that seems to be atypical from what I experienced 20-plus years ago.
Wright says Grass River is a hidden gem offering everyone opportunities to see and experience some of the greatest plant and animal diversity anywhere in Michigan. Protecting it requires vigilance.
as you know, we had an MNFI report, Michigan Natural Features Inventory report, done in the last year, which proved that we have an incredibly high quality habitat, biodiverse habitat here. And there are very few invasives, but there are invasives. So we can't sit back and just be happy that we have a beautiful, healthy ecosystem. We have to continue to stay on top of those things. So working with folks who have land management background, working with our volunteers who are absolutely amazing, and putting together the plans to make sure that we maintain these healthy ecosystems for years to come.